maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more.
Join me on Sundays every 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Voice of the People TV.
Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria. Are you ready to connect with distinguished Nigerians around the world? The diaspora perspective is here.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Locker Room Voice of the People TV. I am and we've got a thrilling show for you today, and it promises to be exciting. And joining me today is Ikechukwu, and my guest to join us eventually, virtually, and we're ready to break down all the action and share all the hot takes on what's going down in the football world. Ikechukwu, it's great to have you join us once again. What happened last night to Manchester United? I heard Diego Dallo saying that everything is still under control. Ruben Amorim. I saw a story that Ruben Amorim had a game with the under-21s. That within 15 minutes, Man United has already conceded, and he had to leave the game in anger. Like, this is not even serious. You're losing to even your academy. I don't know how serious it's going to be for Manchester United. Nottingham Forest, so by the way, what a tremendous record from the side. And of course, it has to be your former player, Elanga. The man has been on fire this season. What a game.
Absolutely, Jerry. What we're witnessing this season with Nottingham Forest, I think last time we saw a team this superb in England was 2013-2014 season when we saw Leicester City actually, did what they actually did that season when they won the league. On that note, I say, Jerry, good evening, and good evening to our viewers. I mean, it was a very great, it was a great atmosphere actually to see Elanga, who Manchester United rejected. I'm one of those persons who was actually critical of Elanga at United at that point. Perhaps because we still have some quality, good level of players that can actually.
Marcus Rashford was deceiving
Rashford is still way better than Elanga. But then of course he's actually really stepped up his game. They have a team and they have a manager who's been able to actually put everything right, and that team has actually been not like they have high-profile players, but the right players and the right mentality is actually what's working for Nottingham Forest. They are making history for the club side, and it's so huge. Manchester United suffered another defeat, and yes, people look at the name Nottingham Forest, but then I don't want to look at the name. I want to look at the team. Years from today, if we go back history, we'll say United lost to Nottingham Forest home and away, but then people will fail to realize that Nottingham Forest actually is, not just Nottingham Forest by name at this point. The Nottingham Forest we are witnessing this is a Nottingham Forest that is replicating the form of the likes of Chelsea and Manchester City in their good days. So United lost to a better team, and that's the way I want to.
Who would have thought that I would see this day where Ikechukwu is heaping praises on Nottingham Forest, making them look like the Real Madrid of this world?
No, Jay, I have to be factual. I have to be, I have to tell the truth. That's why I tell you. That's why I tell you. That's why I tell you.
Oh my God! When you now lose to Nottingham Forest, Nottingham Forest is now this.
No,
that.
No,
It is
this is what the entire universe, the world, everyone who follows the game knows what we've been seeing so far this season. Nottingham Forest has not been, the team we expect them to be, and this is actually a surprise. In fact, everything about Nottingham Forest this season is more like a mystery. I mean, starting from the coach actually didn't get it right at Tottenham Hotspur. He was actually fired. He went, he left England, he came back, and then he's doing the magic with a team that no one would have expected they would even be, would have even expected them to be a meetable team this season. So if you see a team like Nottingham Forest doing this, I mean, nobody would have predicted that at this point of the season, earlier this season, that Nottingham Forest will even be, pushing too hard to even get close to becoming second in the league. They're having a wonderful season, so you have to actually give them, their flowers, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
And it looks like Man United is not going to near even the Conference League at the end of the season because they're out of the FA Cup, and now it looks like they are nowhere to be found.
I mean, take it or leave it. United will make it back to Europe. United is definitely going to win the Europa League. And when that happens, you know.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, they are still in the Europa League.
Yeah, they do.
I forgot. Anyway, Mario, it's great to have you join us today. Okay, Mario is still not yet in. I would love to see his face explain just how boldly you're so confident that they're going to win Europa League.
I mean, it's a tournament, so like I always say, tournament sometimes.
They said they were going to defend the FA Cup at a point, but it didn't happen. But now it's Europa League.
No, I never said United is going to defend the FA Cup.
You said they are going to win the Europa League.
I said United will win the Europa League and
So
go back to Europe.
If they didn't win Europa League, what would now happen next?
Football.
It will now be football.
Football.
I like it. I like that. Anyway, you choose where you are comfortable. You don't have to where it's not comfortable. You just avoid it. Where it's not comfortable, you box yourself out. Just like a boxer, really yourself out of a difficult
No, Jerry. This is not about being boxed or not being boxed. It's about what is actually obtainable. Football can actually be funny, but what is actually practical in this sense is that United has what it takes to actually defend the Europa League, and that's what
to win the Europa League.
Yes,
not defend because they've not won it.
Rather, no, they've not won it before. They are not the defending. Yes, United.
The last time they won the Europa League was under Jose Mourinho.
Of course.
And of course, take the quality of that team, and now they're miles apart.
I'll tell you something, Jerry, and you might not agree, but it is the truth. You also know you might not just agree. The thing is, winning a tournament, right? You don't have to be, in your best shape. You just have to get lucky draws and then get lucky in many of the games.
That Man United last season under Jose Mourinho.
No, not Jose Mourinho. I'm talking about this season. I'm not even talking about under
this
Jose
season.
Mourinho. Yes,
this season. If this team wins Europa League, it's an injustice to all the other teams.
We've seen teams. Call it injustice, but we've seen teams that are just like this United
side, and they the quality of winning anything. Just forget it.
We've seen teams, but we've seen teams.
These teams that perform badly as this don't win titles. That's just the truth. Teams that are as bad as this Manchester United.
And record are meant to be broken.
See, why did they not use that bad form to win the FA Cup?
If United wins
and win the Carling Cup.
If United wins the
last season's Manchester United was a bad team, but they still had it going for them, and that is why they beat Manchester City in the FA Cup final. This team cannot beat Manchester City.
If United wins the Europa League, what will you do? What will you say? You asked me now that if United lose, I've given you a response. If United wins the Europa League,
no, you didn't put a bet.
No.
Now you're trying to put me in a situation where if they win the Europa League, I'll be shocked. I will know it's football. That's what you said.
So let's leave that. Let's leave
that will be on football. That will be on football.
Call it what you like.
That will be injustice. That's what I said.
It's not injustice.
Injustice to
football. It's football.
To all those who are participating in the Europa League.
Whatever it is you like, call
anyway,
it.
I'm afraid of United. The fan, maybe the referees have been spoken to. Because this is okay, let's not forget. This is Europa League where they were giving 3 penalties in one match. Even though had to start the referee call you over, do what they paid for. Just calm down. We have seen to.
Was the referee sanctioned?
But the referees, of course, we all know how the arrangement is.
What arrangement? You are the only one that is seeing injustice in that particular incident. That's what I'm saying.
The thing is that it will take the shine off the Europa League. Take a look at the profile of the teams in the Europa League.
When Arsenal.
So that they will not ask the Europa League should be cancelled.
No,
Man United is doing UEFA a favour by still being in that tournament. Let's now come to the Super Eagles. Calm down. Let's come to the Super Eagles. I think we want to justify United winning the Europa League, but that is not going to happen. Let's calm down. Anyway, let's talk about Eric Chelle. He's reportedly considering terminating his contract as head coach of the Super Eagles. And this is according to reports. The NFF is set to hold a crisis meeting to address the uncertainty of the newly appointed Super Eagles head coach. And Eric Chelle has been revealed is considering terminating his contract as a Super Eagles manager. And sources within the NFF say that uncertainty over his fate beyond the FIFA World Cup qualifying series has on the verge of participating in the 2026 FIFA World Cup, placed 4th with 7 points from and Benin Republic in 2nd and 3rd positions with 8 points apiece. People are even forgetting, by the time the point deduction is done, Lesotho will now occupy the 2nd position. That means the Super Eagles will go to number 5. Nobody's talking about that. 4th position, we are going to be number 5. when that point deduction is made official. So what it means, fifth position, is that your chances are no longer in your hands. It will now depends on all the pros and cons and the calculations thereabout. What do you think about Eric Chelle considering terminating his contract? We'd like to take you up on that. You can call in via the WhatsApp line. You can also be a part of the show via our YouTube chat platform. Definitely we'll be taking your chat as the show progresses. And of course, let's do honors to Ikechukwu to tell us what you think about this latest development.
Well, I mean, Jerry, when the news actually broke about South Africa actually, going to lose a point or lose 3 points in this particular, group, it came as a huge relief for us, knowing that South Africa is actually a very strong side. But then when we actually dropped points in that Zimbabwe game, it felt like, you know what? I mean, this whole point deduction means nothing to us, right? Now we are at this crossroad where we have to actually do what is right. See, going into this particular game, like you said, number 5 on the log. See, the number 5 on the log, right? What you're looking at is just numbers. The difference between the number 1 and the number 5 is what we should be looking at. Lesotho getting that point for me is even an advantage, right? Let them even get the 3 points, and then we know that we have to beat Lesotho. And Lesotho, see, all the Super Eagles need to do at this point, Jerry, is to actually win all of our 3 games. I mean, four games. If we can win all of our 4 games, including South Africa, because that South African game is the decider for us. Let's ensure we beat South Africa and then ensure that we use our might to actually suppress the last 3 games. South Africa is going to be away from home, so it's going to be a very difficult game to crack. But I want to believe that Super Eagles can actually defeat South Africa, but those remaining 3 games is going to be the problem. This 3 points that South Africa has actually lost in this particular game gives the Super Eagles a window to actually still qualify for the World Cup. So if you're looking at that number because we are number 5, for me, I don't really think, I'm not even seeing that number. I'm looking at what's the difference between Nigeria and Lesotho. What's the difference between Nigeria and South Africa? It's just 3 points. If South Africa, if the points eventually get deducted, it's going to be 10 points for South Africa and 7 points for the Super Eagles. So that's 3 points, right? So that's what I'm actually looking at. For irrespective of the position, at this point, the position on the log is irrelevant. What's most important is the points that you have. And we are still going to those last 4 games. Can South Africa win all of the 4 games apart from the Super Eagles game? Let's even minus the Super Eagles game. Can South Africa win all of their last 3 games? These are the questions we should start asking ourselves before we actually play them.
I think somehow some have said that, even of my own opinion, instead of doing all these calculations, I think we should start preparing for the Nations Cup in December and also start preparing for the next World Cup. I think the next World Cup will be in 2030. Okay?
After this, yes.
Yeah, after this. So they should start preparing for 2030.
Yeah, December is still moving very far. So if we end up not, I mean, we are looking at this particular qualifying series to end around September, right? Max October. That's when the World Cup qualifier ends, and then we see the draw, and then World Cup for the next year. See, this is not even the issue here, right? Is between now and those qualifying rounds, either we qualify or not, we're still going to prepare for Nations Cup. That's the harsh reality.
They should prepare for the Nations Cup. All these calculations. I think I don't want to.
How do you start preparing for Nations Cup now? How?
Yeah, when the FIFA window opens, we're going to have international 4-nation invitational tournament. Bring in new players, test them, prepare them. Then the remaining qualifiers, blood in some other players, and prepare them ahead of December for the World Cup. Jerry, because this is April already. May, June, there will be FIFA free window. So just use that, prepare the team.
Jerry, you and I know that going into this double header, we have this conversation that these players that will be executing this first round of games, that's this Rwanda and Zimbabwe game, will not be the same players that will execute the remaining games. There will always be this shuffle. New players will always come in. Some of the players will always go out.
How many new players did they use in this last game?
Exactly what
only one.
Exactly what I was clamoring for.
Yes, Tolu Arokodare.
That
was the only new player that was used.
Exactly what I was clamoring for, some of our home base players to be part of it. Because we know many of these guys will not be part of this game.
Even the home base players too, so they will not be used. So what is
at least because
at least just to shine
not just try them. At least they are supposed to be the Super Eagles team.
Imagine we're in a situation we're looking for a goal. Do you think the coach will confidently let me look at one striker. Okay, let me even look at Papa Daniel. The coach will confidently say it's Papa Daniel he wants to try. When Tolu Arokodare is on the bench.
No, Jerry, no, I think you're mixing it.
Now he invites a home-based striker.
If we don't have, see, that's the thing, right?
Okay.
When you are bringing, we have the Chan Eagles team, right? You know the positions where you are lagging. Yeah. You know where you actually need to actually strengthen your team. For example, you know that in this particular, before we play this board game, we know that we have, you know, a problem with centre back when Semi Ajayi was ruled out, right? Even if you're not going to play either of these home-based players when you invite them, at least adding them to the team should be, because they're part of the team.
Do we have the luxury of adding players to the team for adding sake?
But that's exactly what the coach is doing.
No, for instance, we look at the defense. We already knew there were issues in that defense. And they brought in players. The reason why...
Who are the players they brought in?
Yeah, they brought in Ogbu, for instance. Igor Ogbu, who plays in the Czech league. They brought in Jordan Torunariga.
Why were they not used?
They were not used because the coach still feels that Just Ekongu was on the pitch alongside Calvin Bassey were still good enough.
See, Calvin
and
Bassey...
do you know that it has been revealed that even Just Ekongu was injured?
Yes.
And he played that game with an injury. Maiwa, we understand, is with us. Maiwa, we're just taking a look at the latest development that Eric Chelle might be considering terminating his contract with the Steelers, looking at the way the situation is. And the NFF has had a crisis meeting, and of course, latest updates are also coming in as far as that story is concerned.
Well, the thing is this, it's always amazing to be here. Great Wednesday to talk football. The thing is, it's very simple. We already know that Eric Chelle was given the job as a fall guy. And that is just it. I do not understand the reason why, there are talks about termination of contract and the rest of that. The reason why Chelle will come out and say this is because the body language of the NFF is saying something different. The same way they threw Finidi under the bus, that is what they are trying to do to Eric Chelle, and that's the reason why, he's trying to terminate. See, the thing is this. Look, let's go back to the case of Finidi. Yes, he didn't do well. We had poor performance and just of that. But we knew the saga that surrounded the eventual walking away of Finidi George. I think the same thing is playing out. It looks like Eric Chelle will not be able to deliver. However, the NFF, they are beginning to rear their ugly head. And that is the reason why, Eric Chelle is considering leaving this particular job. I mean, he knew the task ahead before he took the job, but because of the NFF, that is the reason why, he wants to walk away. And we have to begin to get it right. Why are we plagued with people who don't know anything about running football, running our football? Why can't we get it right in terms of getting the right people into the right places? I mean, when I came in, Ikechukwu was talking about the Nations Cup. We have the Nations Cup. We have the World Cup qualifier has not even ended. We still stand, not much of a chance, but at least we still have 20% chance of qualifying. Why not leave a Chelle to build us a team? We've been clamoring that, if an Osimhen is not playing, we don't score. Our midfield is not producing. Our defenders, some certain players are not there. We don't have a solid defense. Why not leave a Chelle? Let's go to Western House spent 6 years, was able to deliver Nigeria, 5 years, and was able to deliver Nigeria to the World Cup. Yeah. Why are we in a haste to try the boss and not allow him to do the job? It goes back to one thing again. Until we take away quota system, we will continue to experience what we are experiencing now, because it doesn't make any. They continue to run it aground, and they are gallivanting on taxpayers' money without any repercussion. It's just so unfortunate.
Just so unfortunate, and definitely we've heard from sources in the NFF debunking the story that Eric Chelle is still in charge of the Super Eagles. We understand that he's already in Europe, still considering the situation and looking very well. If you were Eric Chelle, what would be going through as far as... The
first question is this rumor true? is it possible that this could actually be?
Let's say he has it in his mind. Like, okay, this thing looks language, because we were not there to see what he would have gone through in the hands of either the NFF, the officials, the players, the team spirit, the body language after the Zimbabwe game. The team spirit might still be fair after the Rwanda game. What has happened and transpired since they drew that game against Zimbabwe? What has been the body language? Have they been receptive? Have they been positive? Have they been saying good things about him after that game? And which mood the or leave now? Because it might be a different. If he is feeling us, I don't know what will happen. Inevitable, and took it to Zimbabwe. So I think that was for me. I will not be the bearer of any bad news or bearer of. If that money is used in.
So back to your question. Now, what will Eric Chelle do? Being a coach is an upgrade for him. I believe that there are certain level of assurance that happened.
Who's the superior tactician we're talking about here?
Mechanis is obviously superior. In terms of experience.
If Mechanis is superior technically to a coach of the Super Eagles, what does that say about the quality we have on our bench?
No, again, it speaks to the fact that it speaks to the fact that the Super Eagles also on that particular day, let's not that Super Eagles, the players will win. If we had chances, perhaps the story would not be.
Ikechuka just answered my question. And it's a bitter pill, but we'll have to handle it. Who is coaching Zimbabwe is a better quality than what we have technically. That means we are just.
Jerry, you agree with me?
Imagine Nice was the coach of the
best on game day.
Yeah.
But let's say in a tournament, the team with the best coach, will that team win the tournament?
Most likely they have a big
no.
option. Because you know why I would like to say that?
We can go through series of tournaments.
Let me also go.
And we have to look at it by the quality of the coach and the quality of the team.
See, the thing is that do you know that every coach is as good as his last game?
True.
Guardiola can play. Let me see, you remember, was it the Euros that Greece won?
2004.
I'm trying to remember the name of the coach. Is it Otto something? I'm trying to remember the name.
Otoreha.
Yeah.
He played top quality managers as well.
True.
The thing is that he used that that Euros to announce himself that in spite of the fact that he might have an inferior team in terms of quality, he could actually still propel a unknown team to win the Euros. Where he had, as at that time, the likes of France were, of course, the big boys.
So Jerry, it's even good you mentioned this team. Now, does that make that manager better than the teams he actually knocked out?
No, I'm letting you know that it shows that we are still lacking. Because somebody who have at our bench is not a top manager.
The man that won that tournament was he a top manager? Even after the tournament.
That is why when you have a manager who's not top, with the resources
that manager is not a top manager.
Yes, now no. With the resources you have, prove that you can beat top managers. That's what I'm trying to point out.
No, Jerry, see.
With the resources you have also mentioned on this platform that the Super Eagles does not have a team.
That's exactly what I was. So the emphasis should be on the team.
So the manager not being able to take advantage of the situation and prove that without a team you can still do it.
That we are just less than a week. Jerry. Cut him some slack, please.
Okay.
Less than a week.
Calm down. We see manager. Okay, beating Rwanda. What does it mean? Less than how many days?
The Rwanda team was also in shambles, more like the Super Eagles team. Yes, they were not.
Let's not. I don't want to.
Their coach is also new now.
For me, I don't know what brief.
Jerry, their coach is also new.
Let's also say that.
True. Their coach
is also
new. So
fine.
They both managers are in the same boat, trying to know their players. So it's a game of quality played. Better on that particular day. They actually came up with their best tactical suit, but the Super Eagles showed that yes, we have a team, we have players with more quality and won that game on individual brilliance. It's not like we played better than Rwanda on that day. We saw the game now, but then we now play a team that is grounded. See, whatever it is they have, you will see the input of the coach in everything these guys were doing. The way they
what input did we see? As far as the coach is concerned,
yes.
In the Super Eagles, no, the Super Eagles show.
This thing does not happen in less than a week. That's what I'm saying.
See, you know what? I don't want to take that excuse anywhere. The thing is that as a coach, you should know what to do, even with the limited time and resources you have. We should be able to see.
So you want him to do that? The manager who is superior,
But you said head to head, the quality of the Super Eagles against Zimbabwe.
No, Jerry, let's not mix this thing up.
Okay, we're just trying to use grammar to just color this thing.
No, now.
Yeah.
Looking at the situation of Grant, the man we have there, if he's going to play against, that means we're in a situation, if he's playing against Hugo Bruce, who have a good team, and a manager who is exposed on the continent, that means we are going there to fight a fight where people are bringing missiles, and we are taking cutlass to go and follow them.
So the thing is this: the same guy has played Hugo Bruce before.
Yes.
As the Malian coach,
and was able to.
The thing is this: let's put things in perspective. Majority of the players that played, these last qualifiers, were chosen based off the fact that the coach does not really know majority of them. Most of them were players that were already on ground. He couldn't have used his own player. And the reason for that is very simple. We cannot take away the blame from the NFF. What took NFF more than 12 months before they finally appointed a coach? It took them almost 12 months to appoint a coach. Chelle came in how many months to our qualifier? Remember, these same players were not around. He has not been with them for a very long time. Majority of the players that he used were players that were recommended for him. You remember we spoke about the team list, that some of the names on this particular list got there because Chelle do not really know the players true and true. And so you will not fault him for that. Yes, against Zimbabwe, Chelle made some couple of mistakes. We were leading. He was supposed to make some tactical change that will, block our defense from allowing the Zimbabweans to score. And just, but yes, he made a mistake. Yes, the Zimbabwean coach on that particular day outplayed him. However, you cannot rule away the fact that the NFF got us into this mess. We cannot perform magic. Hugo Bruce has been with South Africa since the Nations Cup, before the Nations Cup, look at where South Africa is. Genotra has been with Benin Republic since. Look at where Benin Republic is. Do you understand that we need quality players that will feature for our team? At the moment, the players we have are not producing the way they are supposed to produce, except few of them that are even doing it individually, not as a team. So we need a coach that will be able to do it. And the quality of coach I've seen, Chelle so far, I was one of those that was against appointing Chelle. But from what I have seen so far, I think Chelle has the quality to be able to help us rebuild our team if we give him a chance. One NFF that took 11 months.
For it, and let's wait and see how things unfold, because as a still taking more updates, the father of Super Eagles invitee Jordan Toruna named that not fit Super Eagles crucial 6 World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and Zimbabwe. And Ojokojo, I beg your pardon, Toruna Riga, a midfielder in his heydays who wants to in the recent World Cup qualifiers. Ekong was injured. He only played because he was captain, he revealed. Ekong with an injury.
Jerry, when the desirable is not available, becomes of the back, the leader in the defense line, the most experienced in the thing points to the fact that true second. And again, we're playing at home against a side that we felt he actually had this issue came up. Then rumor of Ekong also probably missed. I remember before he was part of his club side. The question is, who gave the order, go ahead, that this guy can no longer be part of the Super Eagles team? Who are the physio? Player at the heart of the worst case through a very serious injury. Center give them opportunity to actually play. I will keep saying this before 2013 Nations Cup. No, even in the Super ever believed that our defense line will be marshaled with young Kenneth tomorrow and Godfrey Barabuna in 2013 championship winning side. We all had it in mind that it's definitely going to be Joseph Yobo and perhaps Godfrey Babuna, working with Joseph Yobo all through the tournament. But what happened? The situation called for Joseph Yobo to be dropped to the bench, and then we had a successful tournament. If it means that a player who appears to be the key figure in the team has to actually go out for the team to actually win, why can't you take the person out? It goes back to the same question of who actually appointed the team. Are we going to have a team where my slot will take precedence over, competence and merit? If this is going to be the criteria, then what are we? I mean, we don't even have anything to discuss. Let's just allow them to do what they want to do and move on with it.
Marwan, what message would this send? Because even Jordan Torreira was disappointed after father. Imagine when no matter what the Zimbabweans would, even though Chusekong is injured or managing an injury, would be
Not bring one about this revelation. The truth is, you very the to be remember know
the problem. Looks like it is the NFF, in the words of Mayowa there. But let's look at the Premier League. Bukayo Saka came back, and of course, it means he should be afraid because he came back with a goal against Fulham, where they won 2-1. Bad news is that Gabriel Magalhaes is out they're both out with injuries. Maybe Saka would score more goals so that they will not feel it in defense when they play Real Madrid. Yes, I think he will score a first leg.
He has shown just why he's been missed all the while. 6 minutes into the game, into his return, he scored a goal. This is what big players do. This is what doesn't even have to be a talisman goal. The most important thing is he's Arsenal's talisman.
Yeah, I was just there. Just put his head.
He's Arsenal's talisman. Whether you want to talk about the goal,
on goal, yes.
It doesn't change anything.
It's their biggest threat.
He's man, just
he's their biggest threat on goal. Fine.
This is who is
Madrid. That's what's trending now. I'm using what's happening on Twitter. On X, Arsenal fans.
Everybody will know. Everybody knows that Madrid will always be the favourites in this tie.
Okay,
but yes, Arsenal now has a better chance of fighting with Saka's presence. That's what the truth is.
Without Gabriel and Timber.
Of course, that's also a big blow. But just imagine.
I see the post. You just wasted out 2 seconds there. But anyway, let's go to Bayowa. Bukayo Saka is back. Madrid should be worried.
That stuff for Arsenal. You can't take away the importance of Bukayo Saka. Yes, Nwaneri has stepped in and he has been doing his best. Just but you can't take it brings in. Probably sharpens the edge that Arsenal has. And remember, the female side of Arsenal, they played Real Madrid, and the same thing happened. Real Madrid won the first leg, and they came back, won the second leg. And the female side of Arsenal, they are in the they are in the semi of the champions. Of and how now I think Real Madrid should be on the lookout in that particular.
All right. Also talking about Manchester United, Diego Dalot said despite being 13th on the Premier League table, they are still on the right. I don't know what right track means right now, because I think what does it mean for United? They had thoughts for talking about Manchester City. Newcastle United takes on Brentford, and there's also the Merseyside derby, Liverpool against Everton. Liverpool have won their last 3 home league games against Everton, but of course we saw the draw against Everton, and David Moyes, he has never won against Liverpool. His first. Taking a look at this Everton side, they have
David Moyes, manager, knows how to manage a team in crisis, and perhaps this is why Everton look at him and say, you know what, come and help us. They might not actually win this game because it's Anfield and Liverpool is in a very good shape. Maybe something might have happened to Liverpool. We are yet to find out after the international break. Some teams go to the international break and then come back not being the same. We'll definitely find out if Liverpool has changed that much, because of this break. But then, this game is actually Liverpool win or draw. I don't think actually love derby games are actually quite very unpredictable, and sometimes the team with the edge, might not just get to win it. And most times when you're going into derby games like this, it is the team that perhaps, you know, they might because of hoping to actually save their heads. I'll definitely smile and see you tomorrow.
Take in 1 minute. So we're
This place for Liverpool and Everton, for the sake of competitiveness, I want Everton to pull one over Liverpool so that Arsenal can.
I hope Man City because we're riding on a very interesting form. You guys on the show this afternoon.
Yeah, Terry, thank you for having me.
All right. So